Guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm gonna be telling my labor and delivery story. So before I tell the story, this is my story. So, stuff happens and whatever. So it's not to scare anybody. It's just to tell my story. So my due date was May 27th. So my due date was May 27th, and I went over. I went over a week. I went over a week overdue. And that Friday, that Friday, I went to the doctor. That was my last doctor's appointment. And they scheduled to induce me on Sunday. So, emotions were, I was happy, but I was scared at the same time because this is my first baby. And, I've been watching labor and delivery vlogs, and I see these women crying and screaming. And I see, it's just scary. So Sunday came, and we gathering stuff to go and whatever. I went there fried out and laid to the side. My hair was on point, okay? So I had to be at the hospital at 7. I had to be at the hospital at 7 o'clock. We had to wait for like an hour for them to get the room and stuff together and stuff. And then I finally got in the room like at 8:30. By 9:15, they was putting a Foley bulb in is what I got induced with. Basically all it is like a water balloon that's in your cervix to help it dilate and whatever. So while they put the Foley bulb in, it did not hurt, not one bit. It was uncomfortable because it's like, you can, when they blowing it up, it feel like a water balloon. That's what it feels like, a water balloon. So after they inserted the Foley bulb, they started Pitocin too. So contractions started and stuff. Contractions, they hurt. Everybody is different. So me personally, they hurt. They feel like cramps, but it wasn't to the point where you're screaming and whatever. But like I said, everybody is different. So after that, after the bulb was in, contractions started. They did give me meds, but it wasn't meds to the point where like it took the pain away. It was more of a to take your mind off of it, so you was kind of loopy, you talk a lot and whatever. So they only can give it to you every 4 to 5 hours, so I only had it twice because I was mostly like in and out of sleep and whatever. So put the Foley bulb in at 9. They keep it from 12 to, I think it's 12 to 16 hours. But I think it was just 12. Yeah, it was 12 to 16 hours. And the next day at 9, they took it out. Mind you, usually they say the balloon falls out on its own. If it falls out on its own, you're like 4 to 5 centimeters dilated. So they took mine out, and I was thinking like, this is about to be a fail. I'm not going to be dilated. I was just thinking the worst because I like to prepare myself for the worst. So they took the Foley bulb out, and one of the residents checked me and was like, "Oh, you're at a 4." So I'm like, "Oh my God!" I'm just so excited. I'm just like, I'm actually can do this on my own. I'm super excited and stuff. So my doctor actually comes in there after, and he checks me literally right after and was like, "No, you're at a 6." And I'm just like, okay. So I'm geek. I'm like, damn, you about to get out of here. You evicted. Because the whole time when I was pregnant, I want to say like for the last 2 months, everything hurted. I couldn't sleep. Walking hurted. I barely left out the house. I only left out the house for doctor's appointments and stuff. It was just so painful. It was painful to turn over in the bed. It was horrible. I just couldn't wait till it was over. So after my doctor checked me and told me it was at a 6, I was excited. He was like, you can get an epidural if you want to. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't need the epidural, but the contractions and stuff were like annoying. It was more of like annoying, so I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna get the epidural so I won't feel it and whatever, and I can just get some sleep because in a couple, yeah, I'm dilating this fast. Then you're gonna be here soon, so I'm gonna get all the sleep I can until it's time to push. So I get the epidural. I was scared about the epidural too because you gotta stay still, and if you move, you can be paralyzed. So I was scared about that, but I took that as a G2. So they gave me epidural and she messed up. She messed up and she had to do it again. So she did it again. She had to do it twice. So she did it twice, and I laid back down. Laid back down, and mind you, you're on your back. So on my back, and my left arm goes numb. I was laying on my left arm, but it wasn't to the point where it was like, usually like if your foot go to sleep or your arm goes to sleep, you can just like move it a little bit or get from laying off of it and it'll go back to normal. No. So I told the nurses like, oh, my arm's numb. Like me, I watch videos and you research so much stuff, and then just me being in school, I know that my left arm do not supposed to be numb. So I'm already starting to get scared. So my left arm goes numb, and she's like, oh, were you laying on it? And I'm like, well, I was laying on it, but the way it felt, it was like numb, like the epidural went to my arm. So she's like, well, let's try switching you to the other side. So I go to the other side. They put me on my right side, laying on my right side, and it the numbness goes away a little bit. I'm like, okay, it's going back to normal. So I really wasn't scared like that anymore. But after a couple hours, like around 3:30, that's around, oh wait, no. They switched me to my right side, and then, the numbness let up a little bit. And then my doctor came in and checked me again, and he was like, you're at an 8. I'm like this, oh my God, I'm about to push soon, and stuff like that. But Daniel was still high up. So I think we waited like a couple more hours and whatever. My left arm still numb. I'm telling her that, my arm numb, and she's like, oh, what does it feel like? I'm just like, numb. I can't feel it and whatever. So she's like, oh, maybe that's just from the medicine. I'm like, okay. So I'm not thinking, I thought about it, but I'm like, okay, it's her job. She knows more than me. So I ended up throwing up a little bit, but nothing really didn't come up because when you get induced, you can't eat or anything. So basically, bile came up when I threw up. So anyway, a couple hours pass. My doctor comes back in, checks me again. He said, you're still at an 8. You're still at an 8. He still is high up, so we're gonna have to do a C-section. So I was prepared to push, but I was prepared to get a C-section too, because you never know how this could go. So I'm like, okay, even though I really wanted to push, I really wanted to just, do it natural, do what my body was made for. It just couldn't happen because he was high up. So my mom asked, well, when are you gonna do it, tonight? And he like, no, right now. So they start gearing up. They calling people, getting the OR booked and ready, and whatever. They started taking everything off of me, like the monitor for the baby's heartbeat and stuff like that. So I'm getting a little nervous because I'm just like, this is a big surgery. Like, this is I can never say this, abdominal surgery. um, and it's like scary. So, like, okay, let's go. So we start going down there and stuff like that. And I just get this feeling like something's gonna go wrong. And I'm just getting scared. So we get back there, and from the bed that I was on and the table that they're gonna do the surgery on, you have to get on there. So since I had an epidural, I couldn't get on it myself. So the lady like, go ahead and get on the table, and I'm like, you just gave me the epidural, so how am I supposed to get my big ass on this table? I can't. My legs numb. I'm a fucking noodle. So, so all the doctors came in, and not all the doctors, but the nurses who was in there came and put me on the table. So I started getting really, really scared. I was like, okay, this is real. So they put me on the other table for the C-section, and I started crying, and I'm like, you gotta let me up, you gotta let me up. And she like, oh, you're just hyperventilating, and I couldn't breathe. The reason why she has to let me up because I couldn't breathe. And she's like, you're hyperventilating and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I really can't breathe. And when they put you on the table, they strap your arms down like this, so your arm is like strapped down. So I'm like, somebody got to hear me outside her door telling this woman I can't breathe. So I'm like, get me over here. I call her a bitch and everything. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're not going to see this, but I'm sorry. So, after that, I guess I coded. I don't remember anything after that, but I remember, so I guess I coded. Well, not I guess, I coded. So my heart stopped. And my heart stopped after my doctor was going to cut. And then, you know, he rushed to get the baby out and stuff like that. He got the baby out, and then I coded again. My heart stopped again. And, of course, I don't see myself coding or anything. It just felt like, it just felt like nothing. You don't know. So, in the part when I was telling her I couldn't breathe, I kind of knew this is bad. So, after I coded, I guess, I can start hearing, you can start hearing and stuff. And all I hear them saying, contact neuro, and I just hear sounds from like the machines and stuff, and all the nurses and doctors talking and whatever, but I don't hear Daniel or anything. So I can't open my eyes, but I can hear, and I couldn't move. It wasn't like they had me strapped down, like I couldn't move, like I couldn't. So I started getting scared because I was like, since I couldn't move or I couldn't open my eyes, I instantly thought I'm brain dead. So I instantly, like, I couldn't even cry. So it was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? You know, all I'm thinking about is like my family, like this is gonna be so devastating to them. I'm scared because like I don't want to die, because it's weird because before we left to go to the hospital for me to get induced, I was crying to my mom and I said, I don't want to die. And she's like, you're not gonna die. So while I can't open my eyes or anything, on how I knew how I knew that everything was okay a little bit, they had opened my eyes and flashed light in there. And after I did that, I moved a little bit. I'm like, oh my God. And that's when I heard them say, hey, you're okay. So you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. So I'm like, this okay. And I think I like went out of it again. I didn't code or anything. I went out again. And I just felt I can still hear stuff. You know, yeah, I can still hear stuff. But I feel them wheeling me out. and whatever. And then I opened my eyes a little bit. This is the first time I could actually open my eyes besides the time when I opened my eyes to flash the light in my eye. So I guess to see if my pupils was dilated and stuff like that. So when I open my eyes, I see the oxygen thing where they squeeze it. Basically, you can't breathe on your own, so you gotta help me. So I'm like, oh, I'm okay, but I mean, I, I I'm okay, but I'm not okay. So um, I guess I was down. Not I guess. I was down in the surgical ICU. I was in ICU for a week. So from June 4th, that's when Daniel was born. And I got out the ICU, off the ICU floor on Friday. So in the ICU, I was on a ventilator because I couldn't breathe on my own. I had tubes and stuff down my throat. I like put pictures.
No, you didn't photo by my picture.
You want to sit up some?
Okay, then.
You want to sit up some? You want to hold
Hi,
it?
It's always gotta have
Sure,
a
I can
moment.
like this.
This my son.
Wait, I don't want this.
I had tubes and stuff down my throat. I had a feeding tube through my nose. I had a central line going through my neck to my heart and stuff. And yeah, I was in there for a week. And so the cause of my heart stopping twice was when they gave me the epidural, or I guess they give you if you get, I don't know, I'm not sure when you get an epidural and you have to get a C-section. I don't know if they give you a spinal, but I think they gave me a spinal. I'm not sure. Probably did. I guess what my doctor told me is that when they laid me back, you're only supposed to be numb from the waist down. My doctor said when they laid me back, instead of the medicine going down, the medicine went up. So it paralyzed my diaphragm, which caused me not being able to breathe. If you can't breathe, your heart eventually stops, and your heart eventually stops, and you're about to die. So I didn't see Daniel until he was like 3-4 days old. So I didn't get to have the whole experience of seeing him when he comes out, or being able to do like skin to skin or anything like as soon as he was born. And it like the first diapers, he in a bath, him getting his little first bath, I wasn't able to see it. So let's see. So I finally seen him exactly when he was 3 to 4 days old. And mind you, I had tubes and stuff down my throat, and so I really couldn't talk or anything. But when my family was asking me, like, hey, you want to see the baby, I kept saying no, because I was already nervous. I already said, like, before I got induced, like, oh, when he come out, I'm gonna close my eyes, because I was scared to see what he was gonna look like. So I finally seen him, and then on Thursday, the nurses and stuff actually took me off of the ventilators, and I could finally breathe on my own and stuff. And on Friday, I went back up to the birthing center and stayed from Saturday to Tuesday, and everything was fine after that. And like right now, not exactly right now, but the whole experience was traumatic, especially for me because it was my first baby. So after that, I already knew one and done. Maybe I can buy him a dog or a fish, or he got cousins. He got friends already at 2 months. So I mean, because that was too traumatic for me. Like, no, I didn't expect that. My whole family was stressed out. It was terrible. But all that matters now is that I'm here and Daniel's here and we're happy. So yeah, I hope I didn't scare anybody who is about to give birth soon or just found out they're pregnant, or if somebody watching this right now while they're in labor. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hope I did not scare you, but I'm pretty sure it won't happen to you. It can, but so guys, thanks for watching, and subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll be back again.